the name. That's what you need for your commercial sites. 125 plus years of experience. These folks, they know the materials that are best. They know the type of workmanship that is best in developing, erecting a roofing system at your property. If you have various properties, get them all checked for free. Isn't that crazy? Folks at Chamberlain Roofing Waterproofing, they just want to meet you, shake hands with you, and tell you the type of system that you have, the materials that went in there based on the year that it was developed, and see if everything's okay. At some point, there will be some weak spots. And, oh, man, I hope not. But, water could come in, maybe come down at you from the ceiling tiles. You don't want that. So let's be proactive. Let Chamberlain Roofing Waterproofing check all those commercial roofs of yours. Cutting edge roof installation, advanced waterproofing solutions. Call or text right now, 956-655-6178.
There's only one Trump conservative running for Texas comptroller. Don Huffines is a successful businessman who will bring a private sector mindset to the office and safeguard our tax dollars. A strong ally of President Trump, Don Huffines will stand with him to secure our border and stop all taxpayer-funded benefits to illegal aliens. And Don Huffines will fight to eliminate every woke DEI program in every government agency in Texas. A champion for our conservative values, Don Huffines will stop transgender indoctrination in our schools and protect women's sports. That's why Don Huffines is endorsed by every major conservative organization in Texas, including Gun Owners of America and Texas Right to Life. Republican Don Huffines, the only Trump MAGA conservative running for Texas comptroller.
Political ad paid for by Don Huffines' campaign.
In the Rio Grande Valley, 18-wheeler traffic is heavier than anywhere else in Texas. So if you're involved in an accident, know that big insurance companies will not play fair because they only care about profits, not your health, not the costs you have incurred, and certainly not your pain and suffering. So if you're involved in an 18-wheeler accident, we will stop insurance companies from taking advantage of you. 1-800-CAR-CATCH.
The Jay Gonzalez Law Firm, a force for justice.
What makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination? Because they offer free battery testing and charging and reliable replacement batteries. And they've always got your battery solution. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Fox News, I'm CJ Pop. An executive order on artificial intelligence coming from President Trump, who posted on Truth Social. There must be only one rule book if we're going to continue to lead in AI, and he will deliver an executive order this week. Court date for a twice-deported illegal alien charged with attempted murder in a stabbing Friday on a light rail train. That from police in Charlotte.
Oscar Solorzano is scheduled to appear before the judge. Authorities say he is an illegal immigrant from Honduras who was deported during the Trump administration in 2018 and deported again during the Biden administration in 2021, only to return both times.
Dr. Jonathan Seri reporting in this morning in Charlotte, and former Congressman Colin Allred says he's dropping out of the U.S. Senate race in Texas, says he's going to run for the newly redrawn 33rd Congressional District. America's listening to Fox News.
Broadcasting from the Valley's commercial and fleet headquarters studio at PayneAutoGroup.com. You're listening to News Talk 710, KURV. The Sergio Show with Sergio Sanchez. Rapid fire headlines.
As we mentioned at the opening of this hour's program, President Trump blasting Western Valley Congressman District 28 Henry Cuellar. Why? Well, President Trump pardoned him, but Henry, he's not going to change codes. He's running for Congress, and he's running as a Democrat.
Cuellar faced charges of bribery and acting as a foreign agent. His wife Imelda had also reportedly been connected to money laundering schemes. Trump reportedly issued the pardon for the couple at the request of their daughters, suggesting the Democrat Cuellar had been targeted for voting with Republicans on issues like border security. Yet Cuellar's announcement that he will defend his congressional seat as a Democrat has drawn Trump's outrage. He now says he regrets issuing Cuellar's pardon, calling it, quote, a lack of loyalty and, quote, something that Texas voters and Henry's daughters will not like. Trump further added, quote, "Oh well, next time, no more Mr. Nice Guy."
That was 9:40. The Sergio Show on News Talk 710 KURV. Big thank you to Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing for this hour of the program. We're broadcasting today from the J. Gonzalez Injury Attorneys, ready to fight for you. Call 1-800-CAR-CRASH. HQ, we're in Edinburgh. Okay, Freddie, let's take care of business. Let's roll.
When the odds are against you, a force for justice will be there. When you need someone to defend you, when you need a champion, we will be that force. Day and night, my team is dedicated to fighting for you. Serving our community with offices throughout the valley. And if you can't come to us, we'll come to you. No other law firm in the valley works harder, reaches more people, and has more resources than the J. Gonzalez Law Firm. So if the unfortunate ever happens and you or someone you love is in an accident, call me, J. Gonzalez. The J. Gonzalez Law Firm, a force for justice.
Time is 9:41. The Sergio Show on News Talk 710 KURV. And we're at J. Gonzalez Injury Attorneys HQ in Edinburgh with Jesse. You can see us, of course, 710 KURV X Live, 710 KURV YouTube, and Facebook Live as well. Jesse, and welcome back. I know you're going live as well. Let's say hi to some of the folks that are joining online as well, some of the platforms.
On Instagram and J. Gonzalez Injury Attorneys, Facebook. Yeah.
See anybody there you want to say hi to real quick?
Yeah, I mean, Kaylee Acosta here, Facebook. And we've got several people here. Oralia, the Queen of Texas, Ivy Latin, and Snelling Injury Law, and RJ Benavides. So, yeah, tune in.
You got another injury law firm checking in on you?
That's right.
Competition, or is that
That's
like
right.
a partner, a friend?
I don't know. Just
they're checking and see what you're doing.
you know, I think ultimately when you follow other law firms online, you kind of want to see what they're doing, get ideas, collaborate. We all kind of learn from each other, so I'm guessing there's a little bit of that.
I've never noticed that ring. What
My
is
pinky
that?
ring.
Yeah, your pinky ring. What is that? Is that your?
It was a gift. It was a birthday gift from my
Like
ex.
a graduation. Oh, I see.
And it was specially made, very unique piece.
Yeah, it almost looked like a
in
graduation
Mexico.
ring. Well, the weather today is. I wish we would have had the weather like right now. Well, that would have been like on Saturday night during the parade. You were there with Gigi and Joaquin, right? You did the whole float.
Yeah, I mean,
on Saturday.
Yeah, the weather on Saturday was kind of nice. It wasn't hot. Last year it was cold and rainy.
That's right. It did rain last year.
So not good. But today, like Saturday, the weather cooperated. It's always nice when the weather cooperates.
I think I would have liked it for it to have been a little cooler on Saturday night. Today is time travel day. You know how they have that national calendar with pretend to be a time traveler day, which is, when I see Jesse, if you had a chance to travel in time, one trip, round trip, where would you go? Forward? Go back? Which era? What event? What would you want to be there and see in person? Could be all the way back to the dinosaurs. I told Freddie, I'd go back and see the dinosaurs, but then I'm afraid one would eat me and I wouldn't make it back on the round trip. So what would you go in time if you had a chance to time travel today on Time Traveler Day on the national calendar?
I would go to Havana, Cuba, and go have some drinks and some cigars with Ernest Hemingway. That's what I would want to do.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. You wouldn't want to see the pyramids being built? Like, how were they built? I don't go back and see Jesus. I don't know, walk around with him for a little bit. I don't know, go back, see George Washington, just Ernest Hemingway. And what would you say to him if you had a chance to sit down? Being a student of literature that you are.
Yeah, I mean, he was a pretty fascinating figure. Obviously, he also fought in some wars, I believe, because he was also popular in Paris for a while. So, just some of these things that we think about sometimes, like, when you bring it up. I've been to Havana, Cuba. I went to his bar, and the only thing that was missing was him. So it just kind of makes me think, it'd be nice to kind of see some of these historical figures in the flesh.
You going to do any traveling for Christmas, for the holiday?
Actually, the plan is to go to Sweden, to go ski with the kids.
Nice.
But more than that, there's something that I've never seen in my lifetime, and that is I've never seen the Northern Lights. So I AI'd it. I asked Grok, which is Elon Musk's version of ChatGPT, right? It's Grok. And apparently the Northern Lights in Sweden after Christmas, tail end of December, is the best place to be. So getting on a plane, going to Sweden, day after Christmas, 2 days after Christmas, and have the kids experience the Northern Lights and then get some skiing in while we're there.
I've been doing a lot of end of year conversations. Around every December, it's the same cycle, whether it's an economic development office or a mayor or whomever, business. We do a lot of year in review conversations. I don't know how many times I get to see you before the end of the month, but I want to get that on record. 2025, how was that year for you personally, professionally? What would you do different if you had a chance to go back in time and tell yourself at the beginning of 25, hey, Jesse, don't do this. Let's look at 2025.
Well, I mean, it's a great question, because this year, since COVID, back in 2020, to kind of give you perspective on that question. So 2018 for my law firm was a record-breaking year. And when you look at record-breaking years for me personally, I look at new business. How much new business did we get this year versus last year? And by that, I mean the amount of people that hired me as their lawyer. And so if you put that number and you round that off to 1,000, let's just say, and that's the record, well, anything more than 1,000 new accident cases would be a record. So in 2018, we broke an all-time record. That was the best year we had ever had in the law firm. Then we followed that up in 2019 with even better numbers. So 2019 eclipsed 2018's. And 2020, when it started, and I'm talking about January, February, March, that's before COVID hit the valley. That's when, before the quarantines and before all the shutdowns and all the things that went into effect, people getting sick here locally. 2020 was already surpassing 2019
at the quarter one, which we only got one quarter.
After the first quarter, 2020, we were by far, not even a little bit, by far, we were eclipsing the 2019 mark. And then COVID hit. And so just so that you understand, which obviously you do, when you shut down schools, when all non-essential businesses are told that they have to close, bars were closed, all sorts of businesses were closed. So there's less traffic. And, so those numbers came crashing down, not just for me, but I think universally across the board, personal injury lawyers took a big hit. And that's when I kind of sat back and I said, okay, I can either take this line down or I can make some pretty bold moves that we don't know how they're going to pan out. We don't know how they're going to turn out. But I can do nothing and wait for this to be over, or I can do something and then be glad that I did when things eventually turn around. Because as you know, it's all cyclical. There's cycles. It's ups and downs, ups and downs. And I had experienced that back in 2008 when we were experiencing all those issues at the, last year when George Bush was getting out of office and Obama was coming in. That last year was pretty bad with gas prices going way up and the economy was kind of going to a crawl. And then that's when a bunch of new lawyers started advertising. And so I got hit pretty hard then because I made zero moves. And so going back to that year, I'm like, I got to do something differently. I got to take the initiative, be aggressive, and see what happens as a result. So that's when I decided, let me open a Westlaco office. Let me open up my Harlingen office, and let me open up this Edinburgh office. And obviously it took a lot of resources, time, energy. As you know, building costs went way up during that time and they continue to go up. But all of that just to say, Serge, that 2025, as a result of all of those bold and aggressive moves, is now the best year this law firm has ever had. By far, not just by a little bit. And so it
business volume,
yes,
revenue?
Correct, business volume in terms of new business. Okay. And that's a tricky question because one case can get you 10, 15, $20 million. Just one case in the legal industry, personal injury. I mean, one case can eclipse all other years combined with, the thousands of cases that you may get. So that's where it gets a little tricky. That's why I say new business. When you get a big case, it's not something that you can even qualify. It's like, it just happens. But you can't bank on it as a personal injury lawyer. And by that, I mean, you can't have a business model that's going to bank on you getting $10 million cases or $20 million cases, right? Because those are few and far between. And so you've got to focus on volume. You've got to focus on the cases that you normally get. And can you get more of those? And can you serve more people? And so my business model is basically based on that. What is there more of? And can I serve that clientele? And so 2025 has been the best year we've ever had. Now that all the pieces are, in place, the different locations that back in 2005 I envisioned opening when I first came up with the idea of having these locations. And, you throw in some more pieces up to that, very aggressive campaigns, very creative, aggressive campaigns on TV, adding a fleet of Hummers, 10 new electric Hummers across the valley. And then doing things public relations wise that has been more aggressive than ever. We've been more involved with the community across the board, not just in Hidalgo County, but also Star and Cameron. And collaborating with my marketing and public relations agency, and just being very, very active throughout. Because it's easy to shoot a commercial and then just say run it, be done with your marketing efforts because that's what you do, right? You're on TV, and then you call the billboard company and say, let me put up some billboards and do that, and then be done. Pretty much put it on autopilot. This year, more than any other year, we've been very, very much actively involved in how can we be more connected to the community across the board? How can we do more? How can we be more involved? How can we be active participants? So we're not sleepwalking through what we do in terms of marketing.
We've been with you. You've been with us. We've been with you since the COVID shutdown. And in part, we are still here because of the courage of you to jump into the pool. And, we met because of COVID. We featured your story surviving COVID. We had all these conversations. And I think this year, 2025, what came to mind? All the turkey giveaways, the scholarship money that you give away, right? For the reading effort as well, and all these individual. This is of the 5 years of, in this business relationship, this broadcast relationship. This is probably the most active year I've ever seen. Very aggressive. UTRGV football sponsorship, all those things, like getting into the community. which I guess is an indication of what's to come in 2026. A continuation of that and then more.
Yeah, and I mean, we're always looking for ways of becoming more involved, being more connected, and doing more for the community in terms of contributing more. And like I said, the easiest thing that you can do for your business is advertise. You do a radio commercial, TV commercial, you put up some billboards. That's easy. You can do that with your eyes closed. Everybody does that. Where you can separate yourself from your competitors is doing the kind of things that you just mentioned. You know, how can I be more involved personally across the board with, you know, the different communities across the valley?
Which is a blessing because you're making a difference.
Exactly.
In the lives of a lot more people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, even today, you know, I run into people and they ask, "Are you from the valley?" Imagine that. I'm born and I'm raised here in the valley.
They ask you,
and some people, because they see my TV commercials, but they don't see me personally, you know, they'll say, well, "We thought you were from San Antonio. We thought that you were from Dallas. We thought that you were from Houston." And for me, nothing is scarier for me than that thought that my people here in the valley thinking that I'm not part of them, that I'm an outsider trying to fit in.
yeah.
And that's a scary thought, because you don't want to be an outsider trying to fit in. You want people to know, no, I'm one of you. I was born here. I was raised here. I'm from the valley. I'm a native valley person. But if people think that, even today, what does that tell you? There's a lot of room to grow public relations-wise, marketing-wise, to make sure that message doesn't get lost. And so these are challenges that we face every day. And these are challenges that basically make me want to get up in the morning and say, let's be better. Let's do better.
There are people discovering you, even on a day-to-day, as aggressive as you are, discovering you. I have a suggestion, though. If you want to go like 956, tattoo the 956, like a neck.
On my forehead.
956, like
on my forehead.
Maybe La Jolla over here, La Jolla, another tattoo on your neck. They say, "Oh, he's from mine."
Embed the 956 in a scorpion, like a scorpion with 956 on the scorpion itself, or a cobra, or a black widow.
No, I think the scorpion is fine. They probably think you went to UTB when it was UTB at
or
one
a
time.
snake.
Or put it on your knuckles as well, right? Like 956.
I think so.
Puro 956.
Right here.
Yeah, there you go.
I like that. Great idea, sir.
I've got. Well, I don't know. If you do, tell me about it. We'll go live. We'll be there when they're burning your skin. We'll do it live on.
Put it to
online.
use.
I got a minute left.
Put it to use.
So you're knowing your cycle for the past 5 years. Right now, you're brainstorming with Myron and everybody else on the Super Bowl commercial, right? Any tease you want, or you still brainstorming like what theme or what? I got about 45 seconds.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, every time we've done a Super Bowl commercial, it's a collaboration between me, the agency that I use, and the production company that I hire. We all come together and we try to make something work. And this year, we've struggled, and I say we collectively, with coming up with a new script. If we don't have a script that I like, then we can't move forward. And as of right now, I hate to disappoint you, but we don't have a script that I personally like. So I may have to come up with it myself. I did that in 2021 with the Top Lawyer commercial. I came up with the entire script. And I may have to do the script again for this one. But if not, we've got some pretty good commercials that we're running now that we might run again. At the end of the day, we will have a Super Bowl commercial. We just don't know what commercial we're going to run.
Yeah, be part of our conversations near future as we continue our conversations with Jesse. Jay Gonzalez, injury attorneys. God forbid anything bad happened to you on the road. If it does, remember Jesse. Remember his team. Take care of number one. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family. 1-800-PARK-CRASH. The Sergio Show on News Talk 710 KURV, coming up on 10 o'clock.
If you've been in a car accident, then you better get ready for a fight.
You need a force for justice. The J. Gonzalez Law Firm. No other law firm in the Valley has more offices, more resources, and reaches more people every day for over 20 years, fighting for the people of the Valley. 1-800-PARTNER.
The J. Gonzalez Law Firm, a force for justice.
When the odds are against you, a force for justice will be there. When you need someone to defend you, when you need a champion, we will be that force. Day and night, my team is dedicated to fighting for you. Serving our community with offices throughout the Valley. And if you can't come to us, we'll come to you. No other law firm in the Valley works harder, reaches more people, and has more resources than the J. Gonzalez Law Firm. So if the unfortunate ever happens and you or someone you love is in an accident, call me, J. Gonzalez. The J. Gonzalez Law Firm, a force for justice.